This is Unit 1, the Alphabet and Grammar of Geometry. Preview video 1.2, Part 2, the Geometry Alphabet. Close your eyes. Ready? Inhale through your nose. Hold your breath. Slowly exhale. Keep your eyes closed for a few more seconds. Open your eyes. Alrighty, folks, this is just a continuation of the last class. We're working with letters, if you will. This will be a little bit shorter once you have the alphabet under your belt. English alphabet consists of 26 letters. Geometry, only 5. A point, a line, a segment, a ray, and a plane. These are your letters to create the words and the sentences of the visual world around you. So the first word, and then we're putting we are putting combinations of these 5 letters together. Your first word is going to be the angle. So an angle consists of 2 rays. So that's why this is considered a word. It's a combination of the letters, hinged at a common endpoint. So if I want to draw an angle EFG, this is an important concept. F must be the endpoint because it's in the middle. And that means I have one ray, like this, and another ray like this. Notice I'm following the letters point by point, E, F, G. Now this angle you can go E, F, G, or you can go the other direction and name it G, F, E. I'd like you to write this down, please. Okay, now I'd like you to connect dot to dot, FEG. Do you see that that's not the same angle? Okay, so the middle common endpoint has to be in the middle. So FEG would be the wrong name for this angle here, that angle right there. Now, we sometimes name angles just with letters, so I could stick a letter, let's say, number. I could just stick a number in there, and I can call that angle 2 if I wanted to. So as diagrams get more complex, we often add numbers for easy labeling. There's 2 things you should always do with angles. Trace and sweep. Whenever you're working with angles, you trace and sweep. I actually want you to say that out loud. Ready? When you're working with angles, what do? Trace and sweep. I asked you to have some colors handy. This is really effective, and I would really appreciate if you can do this in color. So if you need to, pause the video, go grab some colors and come back. Alrighty, so right here, if I am going to trace and sweep angle ACD, I'm going to do that in blue. Watch what that would be. A, trace, CD, sweep. So the angle ACD is this angle right there. Let's do another one. Trace and sweep DAB. Ready? Starting at D. Trace. A. B. Sweep. Trace and sweep. So angle DAB is specifically that angle right there. FCE. Trace and sweep. F. C. E. Trace and sweep. And you always sweep at the middle letter. So we're sweeping at the C, or what I would call the elbow of the angle. If you can imagine this as like shoulder, elbow, wrist, you always sweep at the elbow. Ready? D, G, E. D, G, E. Trace and sweep at the elbow. So that's that angle right there. Trace and sweep. Now, why does translating written and spoken words seem difficult? We did a pair share activity last class where someone read a description and you had to translate it into a diagram. And for many of you, that was really challenging, more challenging than you expected. Let me explain why and what's going on here. The spoken and written word is, your brain consists of two hemispheres. Okay, that means two halves. Spoken and written language is predominantly in the left hemisphere of your brain. So comprehending written language, comprehending spoken language, that is predominantly left side, left hemisphere of your brain. Aha. But visual spatial perception, in other words, visualization of the world around you, is mostly housed in the right hemisphere. So why this feels difficult is because when we're communicating with written and spoken words, you're taking information from this hemisphere and you're translating it into the visual hemisphere. You're passing through the connector between the brains, which is called the corpus callosum. Just to give you a heads up, guys, my previous background, I was an occupational therapist, so you're going to hear me use a lot of neurological terms. There's like this super highway of nerves that connect your right and left, and that's called the corpus callosum. Corpus callosum. And so the information's traveling back and forth across that super nerve highway. And so things are moving around in your brain, which means as you practice this, just like you practice music, just like you practice a sports move, you get better. So the frustration you experienced last class felt so difficult, you will get better at this, I promise. Alrighty. So, learning how to visualize written and spoken words and using language to describe the pictorial and visual world around you is a key skill. Learning how to visualize those words, key skill. So let's get a little bit more practice here. Okay, so ready? We read with 3 body parts 3 times. Put your finger right here and read out loud with your finger tracking. On a plane W, X, Y, Z, draw a segment EF on plane W, X, Y, Z, intersecting a line BC at point H. Trace and sweep BHE. That's pass number 1. Pass number 2, we're going to filter keywords. We got a plane, a segment that's on the plane. We have an intersecting line at a point. And we're going to trace and sweep an angle. past number 3, you cross stuff out as you account for it. The fact that we have a plane, W, X, Y, Z, it does not matter where you start that W. What does matter is that you go counterclockwise or clockwise around W, X, Y. Make that look like a Y, Z. Okay, I got a plane. And I have set on, so that means it's coplanar. EF, doesn't matter which way E and F is oriented. Some of you are left-handed, will automatically draw that easier from right to left. That's fine. The segment is on the plane, and it's intersecting an additional line, BC. Doesn't matter where B and C are, which end either, at point H. Trace and sweep, B, H, E. Trace and sweep. Ta-da! Translating words into a picture. Ready? This, you're going to read with 3 body parts 3 times, translate into a picture on your own. Pause the video. Alrighty, let's take a look. Again, if things are oriented a different direction than mine, that's okay. So first we have a plane, Q, and Q should be shoved in the upper right-hand corner cursive. Either you could do your cursive Q, or some of you are like super fancy and you've got the traditional cursive Q shoved up in the right-hand corner. We have line AB. Doesn't matter which direction AB is tilted, but what does matter is the fact that it's a line, which means you have arrows. Coplanar means on the same plane. You have JK, again, on the same plane. And it's intersecting at the point R. And then you should have traced and swept KRB right there. Again, you should make yourself a little note. What did you do right or wrong? If you got most of this correct, give yourself some props there. Alrighty, now look carefully at the diagram to the right. Now we're going to go backwards. We're going to go the other way from the right hemisphere to the left. I'd like you to write down a description of the diagram. And I'd like you to try to use the terminology from this lesson. So you're going to write, it'll take a couple sentences. I'm not looking for a 5-paragraph essay. Write a description of what you see there. Pause the video and write your own description. Pause. Okay, welcome back. Here are the key things you should have done. I would most likely start with the plane and the fact that you have a plane A, B, C, D. Now, you could have gone in a different order. You could have gone this direction, A, D, C, B, this way. That's fine. Okay, and then you have a coplanar point R. Okay, coplanar means on the plane. Now, this is where it got tricky. If you got this right, you figured this out, you are stupendously amazing. Now, if you didn't get this right, you didn't figure out, you're going to be just as amazing because you're going to write down what you have learned. It's okay to fail as long as you learn. That is a key skill in life. So, what's up with the dotted line? Maybe you art students might have figured this out. That line is a non-coplanar line M. I'm running out of space here. Intersecting plane A, B, C, D at point R. That was the tricky part of this. So I'd like you to go back, compare yours to mine, kind of make a little note of how is it different, how is it the same. There's slightly word difference, that's perfectly okay. And if you actually used this word, give yourself like a giant smiley. That's tremendous problem-solving skills right there. Righty, folks, super important. take 1 minute and explain the key concepts from today's lesson.